recording? Just kidding. Welcome to another video. What is up, society? Today we're talking about one game versus multiple game streamers, or variety streamers, I guess. Before we begin, you can find my social links below. Not to mention, if you want to look me up on Sully Gnome, yeah, my numbers are not very good. That's because I have a baby. Actually, a baby. And I'm not really streaming that often, but you're more than welcome to check it out. And another reminder, these are all topics that I've talked about on my blog. If you'd like to be reading more detailed things, you're more than welcome to check it out. Just remember that I'm trash and I probably will ramble on here, so it might be easier to read the blog or it might be easier to watch here. But yeah, let's get started. One game streamers. This is something that I've seen be not so good with others. I've also seen it be successful. I think it depends. Picking one game has its pros and cons. The pros is that you're really getting into a game hard. You can build a community out of it. You can meet new people. You can build your base foundation there. I think it's awesome to gain viewers when you play a particular game and you become kind of an expert, whether you want to be for fun, competitive, speedrunning maybe, casual, whatever. Your options are there. However, on the plus side, it's a lot of risk. If you play one game and one game only, and that game flops, then you're kind of screwed in a sense. I'm honestly recording with my son here, just FYI, if you didn't believe me. There you go. But the thing with playing one game is that if that one game flops, you're kind of screwed. And I've seen this with people who only play Dead by Daylight, for example. There's other people who play different BRs or competitive games similar to Overwatch, and they only ever play that game. If that game, now obviously Overwatch is probably not going anywhere. In fact, it's getting Overwatch 2. However, if you play a game like Dead by Daylight, and that's the only game you play primarily for a while, and you don't build that relationship with your community, they're not going to want to stick around when you switch games. So if you want to play one game, I think it's super important for you to build that connection. Just chatting, community events, viewer games. Try to make that bond and base community more stuck. I guess more stuck, stronger. Stronger is probably a better word. But yeah, you want to do that for sure. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to play one game. I primarily play Dead by Daylight also. But I also try to dabble in different games. Again, I'm not really streaming regularly, so that's super hard. But you want to try to bring that community, and if they came there initially for the game, you want to make sure that they stay for you, not for the game. Because then if they stay for you, you can basically play Barbie's Dream Mansion or whatever, and they'll stick around for you. Now, on the flip side, variety streamers, they play any game that they want, and they're not limited to anything that they want to play. However, building a community based on variety can be super challenging. Sure, you'll get a few people that come in for the game, but you're really not going to shine that much unless you have an extremely bright personality, or you have funny jokes, or you're really good at it. Because if you go from playing, say, Spyro the Dragon to Overwatch to Fortnite and whatever else you can think of, those games have literally nothing in common at all. So you want to try to really bring out who you are, to hook people in to want to stick around. Again, it goes with saying you have to really shine as a content creator and make it known that you want to grow and not be centered around a stream, I guess. Like, you don't want the game to be focused. You want yourself to be focused, even if you're playing a game. I think another thing that also helps, if you are going to be playing and trying to stream, is to connect with your viewers on a personal level. Like myself, for example, I talk about my son because obviously I'm a new mom and that's what my life surrounds. I talk about my boyfriend, he's known as Space or Steve, obviously not his name. And my dog, or sometimes my family, which I also don't use names. I find that streamers who don't indulge in any personal details whatsoever, sometimes they can have an extremely difficult time building a community and actually growing. You want to connect with them on a personal level. If people wanted to just watch a robot, that was the stupidest robot dance ever. Anyways, back on topic. I find that if people want to see content like this on YouTube without a personal level connection, they're gonna do it. Or they're gonna go to a streamer without a webcam maybe, or whatever. But you want to connect with them personally. I'm not telling you to tell them your social insurance number or your postal code or zip code or whatever. That's just dumb. But try to connect with them on a personal level, even if it's just life stories. Maybe you got drunk one time and you need to tell this funny thing that happened in the cab ride home, or you went camping with your family when you were a kid and caught fireflies or whatever. Or maybe you made a killer supper, like talk about stuff like that. If you don't, your community is not going to connect with you on a personal level, and ultimately I've seen that hurts people. There's also people who try to stick with different genres. Some people do horror, some people do BRs, some people do competitive team-based games. If you want to stick to one genre, it's a little bit of both, I think, as far as one game streaming and variety streaming. You probably want to do that, if anything, because then you can kind of change it up a little bit, but people know what to expect. If I play Dead by Daylight and I go to play Outlast, people are going to know that they're going to expect some type of spook or jump scare. And maybe that's what people want. But if you play Stardew Valley or Overwatch and Fortnite, then it's going to be a little bit difficult to pull people in, especially if you're not trying to be on a personal level. Now, based on Twitter, I also threw out the question to my followers, again, link below. And they talked about how it was extremely hard for them to probably play one game because you get bored. If you play one game all the time, unless you're maybe speedrunning, because then you kind of have a reason for it, then I would definitely 100% suggest doing that. You just don't want to be bored because the the viewers will notice when you're bored. And I mean, hell, who wants to stream when you're bored? Honestly, I love Spyro the Dragon, and I know that my chat knows, but I could not play Spyro the Dragon or speedrun it all the time. Mind you, I do watch people do it, and they're crazy, but I could not do that at all. So as you can see, there's really debate on which is better, one game or variety. And I think it's just up for interpretation. For me, I main Dead by Daylight, but I also dabble in Stardew Valley on rainy days. Sometimes I do spooky games. I like doing art streams as well. I like to spice it up. Even if I don't have to, I like that the option is there. So basically, I'm just trying to let you know that, you kind of have to be smart about it for the most part. Yeah, don't get trapped. And with that being said, if you like this video, don't forget to like down below. Thumbs up, I think. We're still getting used to the whole YouTube thing. Subscribe to the channel for videos every Monday relating to my blog and streaming. And don't forget, if you do start with one game, you're never trapped. Just set yourself up that if you want to switch games, it's successful. And with that, happy streaming, and I will see you in chat. Later.